Calculating square roots. Square roots. When a number is a product of two identical factors, then either factor is called a square root. A root is the inverse of the exponent. If b times b is equal to a, then the square root of a is equal to b. Example 1, the square root of 4 is equal to 2 because 2 times 2 equals 4. Example 2, the square root of 100 is equal to 10 because 10 times 10 equals 100. The square root of 169 is 13 because 13 times 13 is 169. The square root of 9 over 64 is 3/8 because 3/8 times 3/8 is 9 over 64. The positive square root of a positive number is called the principal square root. These are also called perfect squares because the square root is a whole number. So back in the day when you had a multiplication table, the diagonals were the perfect squares. So 1 times 1 is 1, it's a perfect square. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 is the perfect square. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 is the perfect square. All right, when a number will not result in a perfect square, it can be estimated on a calculator with the square root function can be used. So for example, the square root of 40 is approximately 6.3 because if we look at perfect squares, where 40 is in the middle. So the square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 49 is 7. So the square root of 40 is going to be somewhere between 6 and 7. Since 40 is closer to 36, the square root will be closer to 6. And then the 0.3 is just an estimate. But we can do this on our calculator. So I pull up my calculator here, and I put in the square root of 40. Most calculators, you're going to have to go second in the x squared button because x squared and square root are inverses. And then I put in 40. I am using a TI-30XS multi-view calculator. I highly recommend this calculator. But when I press enter, it gives me a simplified square root. Well, that technique is going to come in Math 043, but we want a decimal. So right above the enter button is a toggle button. It's that double arrow button, and that will turn a square root into a decimal. And likewise, it would turn a decimal back into a square root. But we want the decimal. So 6.324. So one more time, to get a square root on your calculator, you're going to go second in the square root button, type in the number you want the square root of, press enter. If you have this calculator and it doesn't give you a decimal, press the toggle switch. And again, the wavy equal signs, the symbol is used to indicate that the two numbers are approximately equal. So you've rounded. All right, let's practice 4 of these. Evaluate, round to 3 decimal places as needed. All right, the square root of 25 is 5 because 5 times 5 is equal to 25. The square root of 100 is 10 because 10 times 10 is 100. The square root of 17 we're going to have to use our calculator to estimate that one. So I'm going to put in square root of 17 and press enter. And I need a decimal, so I'm going to hit that toggle switch. And I get 4.123, and it says round to 3 decimals. So you always look at the fourth one. If it's 5 or higher, you round up. So we're going to use our approximate symbol and write 4.123. And next we want the square root of 18. The square root of 18. I want a decimal. I don't want a simplified radical. So press the toggle switch. And that is approximately equal to 4.2426. We want to round to 3 decimals. So since the fourth decimal is greater than 5, our rounded answer would be 4.243. There you go.